Okay, so this bus goes to Detroit, and it's going to, it's called Michigan Central Station, and it's going to like an expo or like a show, I guess. So this is kind of like an example of maybe, you know, what you could do if the camper deliveries got slow, you know. So it's not slow right now, but this came up, so I just decided to do it. It's only 191 miles from my house, and pays $3.40 a mile, so it's like $650, and that's to me. And I booked a couple cars coming back, and those pay to me like $320. So today I'll be able to deliver it today, pick up the cars, come back, and be home. And it'll be, what is that, 370, something like that, or sorry, 970. So that's why I decided to do it. You know, it pays good. I can get there and back. I can sleep at home, and then today's Tuesday, and then on Thursday I have to go back and pick it up and bring it back. So I haven't found cars yet to take up there on Thursday, but I'll be looking, and hopefully I can find at least one car or find something. So anyway, that's the deal for this week. I'm gonna haul this up there, drop it off. Hopefully I can get some cool footage of something there. I'm not really sure what it's gonna be. It's like it's supposed to be like some sort of expo, so maybe there'll be some other cool things there I can take some pictures of real quick while I'm there. But and then I gotta run and grab the cars. I think they're both Manheim cars, or at least one is. And then hurry up and get back. Hopefully have dinner at home. So this is where we ended up. It's really busy here. I wasn't able to record unloading. They took it as fast as I unloaded it. So anyway, off to Manheim. Well, we're at Manheim. And the way they do it here is you check in at the door, and then they have a barcode. You scan it, takes you to their website. Then you put in your work order number, which is on your gate pass. And then they have a little map that tells you where to go, and it tells you how many feet you are away, whatever. Which for me, they're never close. This one is 1,600 feet. So it's not horrible, but I've had them like 3,500 feet, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna go find it, take some pictures, load her up. So here it is, 2022 Chevy Blazer, black, of course. There was like 5 black ones right here in this little area, so had to search around a little bit, but found it. It started. So I'm just gonna walk around it, make sure there's nothing crazy going on. These auction cars, though, they'll have little scratches and nicks and dings, whatever. You have to just, once you know, like this, just have to take pictures before you pick it up, before you even move it. And then once you get it on the trailer, then you want to, you know, do a checklist and write everything down and take notes, take pictures. This one looks like Dirty Mike and the boys had their way in here. It's only got 40,000 miles.
They're under an overpass for the night.
You find anything?
Yeah.
We found a lot of stuff.
We found a lot of stuff.
Bodily fluid and
hair samples. We determined that a bunch of old homeless dudes had an orgy in the car. Oh, God.
Auction car, though. I mean, for 22. Anyway, I always check everywhere, make sure. Got the spare, the jack, all the headrests are on, all that kind of jazz. And I always look at the compartments, make sure that I'm not carrying something I don't want to carry. I don't even know how to open that. glove box. Oops, sorry. So manual, normal stuff. Cool. It's got 2 sets of keys, which is rare. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop in. Got the information I needed, and drive this out. Alright, I'm driving out of here. I had to walk all this. It's good for me though, all that time in the truck. Every once in a while, it's good to go for a hike. Never drove one of these Blazers. It's basically like a Malibu. Turn the radio off for the copyright, yeah. At least this one started. Sometimes you come walk out here, which usually I carry a battery booster with me and I forgot to grab it, but sometimes you walk all the way out and they don't start or whatever, and you gotta figure all that out, which can be a pain in the butt. I've had to bring my jumper cables out before and use another car to jump start, you know, do stuff like that. But basically you just got to do whatever you got to do to get loaded, get out of there. And you got to be careful. There's people going everywhere and everybody's in a hurry and nobody cares about anybody but themselves. Looks like, wow. Yeah, this is the line to get out. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here because it's gonna take a while. I'll probably be here for 15 minutes trying to get out with one car. I'm loaded up, strapped down, ready to go. The other car I gotta pick up is also at a Mannheim, and it's only 16 minutes from here. So I guess that's why they call it Motor City. There's auctions everywhere, cars everywhere. Anyway, here we go. I'm at Mannheim, the second one, and it was only 6.6 miles. It's just crazy that they can have them that close together. And about 15 minutes away. Anyway, I have all my paperwork printed out. I take the vehicle release paper up there, and they say, oh, you got to have a gate pass, and the dealer has to call and get it. So, you know, I'm dealing with a broker, which thankfully this broker is a good broker. And I texted them right away. They answered. I had to do this last week. Hang on a second, you know. But now I'm at the mercy of the dealer calling and getting this gate pass released to me. And yeah, on their priority list, I'm probably, yeah, down here. So we'll see. It's 12:30. Just got back in the truck. We'll see how long it takes. But that's the trouble with like the car game. Hauling cars is like, you know, both of these cars were booked through the same broker, which is why I did it, and I know where they go in Elkhart. But they're 200 a piece. So, you know, the first one went fine, but now this one, you know, I don't know how long I could sit here and wait for it. And you know, it's 200 minus the 20%, so it's really like 160 to me. So, you know, and you've already booked it, you're already here, you have to basically wait it out, and that's what sucks about cars. If you were like, sometimes when I am getting, like if there was a couple times when it was really slow, the RV stuff, and so one week I In fact, there was 2 weeks in the last 4.5 years where it was so slow that I had to figure out something else to do. So 1 week I stayed home, and then the second week I decided to go from the Elkhart area to Chicago, down to the bottom of Illinois, across to Indianapolis, Cincinnati, back up, and I just tried to make like a big circle. And I got like 3/4 of the way around the circle, and work called me and said, "Hey, we have a load." So I just bailed and went for it. But anyway, I'm saying that to say, if you had like a dedicated route that you took all the time, and you always went around this circle, you did it once a week or whatever, you would know what auctions you got to do what at, and different dealers, and the more you did it, the more refined you would get it, and you would end up with probably a lot of the same customers every week in the same auctions and all that. So it could be easier, but for me to do it, I'm always going different places, so it's a little harder. But anyway, the broker's calling me. I'm going to answer. Here's a car, 24 blue Hyundai Elantra. How do you guys say it? Is it Hyundai? Hyundai? Let me know in the comments. It's an ongoing debate at my house. Anyway, walk around it real quick. I saw Nick in the passenger door, but nothing crazy. Hopefully it starts. It smells herby in here. 29,670 miles. So, of course, engine light, tire pressure light, all that. Anyway, I'm gonna get it pulled out of here and end up there to check that tire. I didn't notice if it was. It's low, but not undrivable. So, anyway, there's a lot of people driving around in here today, so I'm not gonna record. Try to pay attention and not get whacked. We're in another long line to get out. We only have 1 lane to get out, 3 to get in. It's like they cater to the seller. I'm sure they cater to the buyer, but they don't cater to the transporter, which is everywhere you go. You kind of have to be used to that. Like, even like the lot where the transporters park, it's dirty like a truck stop. There's broken parts everywhere. Chance of getting flat tires, all that. Then you go over on the buyer side and it's all cleaned up and nice, and it's presentable. So it's just how it is. Anyway, looks like we'll be in this line for a good 15 minutes. So, we'll get off here, get through this line, get loaded up. It's about 3 hours back to home. So I'm thinking that I'm going to just go home, even though I could make it to delivery today in Elkhart. I'm just going to go home, and while I'm on my way home, I'm going to be searching for cars to come back on Thursday, because I got to come and pick that bus back up and take it back. So if I can find something today or even tomorrow morning, usually they would pick up in Elkhart, South Bend, Goshen, whatever, so maybe I can do the drop and the pickup in the same little trip instead of wasting time. So anyway, I'll get a couple pictures once it's loaded and head for the house. All loaded up, strapped down. I noticed there's a couple good dings in the door. Nothing major. There's a lot of people here loading. Anyway, we're gonna hit the road. Alright, it's Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock, headed over to South Bend to drop off these two cars. So they both go to Gates dealers. So one was Gates of Elkhart and one was Gates of Toyota. And I've learned from delivering to these guys before that I can deliver to any of the Gates dealers, and then they have people that go around all day and move cars, so I can drop them both off at the same location, which makes it nice. So I'm going to drop them both in South Bend, even though Elkhart is closer. I'm going to drop them in South Bend because I have one vehicle to pick up in South Bend at IAA, and I'm trying to book a second. The first one I have pays $200 to go to Detroit. The second one pays $225. I'm trying to get it booked. I texted them yesterday. I called yesterday. I called this morning. I called at 8:30, 9:01. You know, just trying to book it so that while I'm over here, I can get it. If I get over here and get delivered and get that other car and get back before that guy calls me, then I'm not going to drive back over here for the other $225. It just doesn't make sense. It's only like 20 miles, but it's 20 miles there, 20 miles back. That's 40 plus, you know, a couple hours of your time. It's just not worth it. So anyway, about to pull up at the South Bend dealer and get these unloaded, drop them off, and then we're gonna head to IAA. All right, both cars are off. I'm gonna drive over and park them both, do a quick walk around, and run in, get the paperwork signed, call the guy again on the van, see if he'll answer the phone, and then we're gonna head to IAA. There was another. There's the one, first one. There was a spot right next to it a second ago. I was gonna park them side by side, but whatever. This button, you have to really jam it for it to work. I don't know if it's just dirty or what's going on. Do a quick walk around. I know that was damaged. Marked it down. I also mark on them if they come from an auction. I just put dirty, as is, auction car, or if it's a salvage car or whatever. I make sure I put as is because there's too much stuff to try to find, and you can't have them come back on you and say, well, this little scratch wasn't there, that's going to be $300, you know. If you do as is, you're covered, as long as they sign it, get them signatures. The guy unloading new ones over there. Anyway, I'm gonna go in and get signatures and we're out of here. Here we are, he's about to load this van. Hopefully they have a way to fork it off when I get there. Didn't realize that it wasn't a roller. That's something you gotta remember to ask for. That's what I get for not asking. You gotta kind of stand back to where they can see you and tell them when to stop. Otherwise they'll set it on there crooked. Gonna go get the second one. All right, we got both loaded. This guy's loading over there. Took a little bit. The one guy hadn't paid for his car yet. The other one owed $100 from storage. It's always something with cars. And then they both had an app. You had to take pictures and all that. I don't know why you need pictures of salvage vehicles, but whatever. Anyway, we are all loaded. So now I gotta wait till tomorrow morning to take off and go back to Detroit. Drop these off. They actually were two different brokers, but picked up at the same spot, and then they deliver 2 minutes from each other, just like around the corner from each other. So it works out. And then it's 15 minutes to the bus. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here, go home. I'm supposed to help do some training today on loading. And then I'm gonna leave early tomorrow morning, head over to Detroit. I'm gonna get her done. We're in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Thursday morning. It's about, let me see what time it is. 9:15. Anyway, we'll do a strap check. Look everything over. We're about half hour, 45 minutes from delivering. Fuel here is $2.99 a gallon, so we're gonna fill the tank, and then we're gonna put about 25 gallons in the auxiliary. I'm not sure. It's a little loose. Not sure where I'm going next week, but anyway, this is the first fuel we've had to get this week. So anyway, the actual price here says $3.65, and we're getting it for $2.99. So anyway, here we are. I'm gonna do my additives and call the people and let them know that I'm coming, how far away I am. Get back on here at delivery. Let you guys get a look real quick before I go ahead and talk to these people. This is where we're delivering. It's a little rough. Anyway, I'm gonna go figure this out. So, I'm unloaded. The guy's not here yet. Of course, he wanted to set up a time with me, which I did. I told him 10:20. I get here, text him. I'll be there in 10 minutes. So here we are. We're in Detroit. Car unloaded. Just waiting. And all I can think of is, I don't know if you've seen the meme, but lock your kids, or lock your doors, hide your wife, hide your kids. Yeah. Sketchy around here. Anyway, I'm gonna sit in the truck. Alright, now we just wait. I'm supposed to come out of here with a forklift and grab it. Big Sam's Auto Parts. Anyway, I hate messing with cars sometimes, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Here we are, back in Detroit, picking up the bus. Anyway, it was real simple. They had it parked right over there. Called the lady, she ran the keys out to me. It was pretty fast, so. Anyway, this building's pretty cool. Wish I could go around and explore, but yeah, can't do that when you have all that with you. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of this city and head for the house. All right, we made it out of there. Where those cars went was pretty sketchy, to say the least. Where the bus was fine, you know, that was fine. But where the cars go, holy crap! I don't get nervous very often, but I was kind of nervous. I don't judge, but there was a lot of people there around. It looked pretty desperate, you know. And I felt okay like when I was dropping the cars, but as I was trying to drive out, I had to go a different route to get to the bus. And yeah, when you pull up to the stop sign, you know, you're looking at the traffic, then you're also like looking at the people or the bushes around, you know, like trying to, you know, make sure that, you know, nobody's trying to approach you or come up to the truck or, you know, whatever. You don't know. Like, desperate times, desperate measures, you know, you don't know. And, you know, I was nervous, but then at the same time, you know, it makes you appreciate what you have. And, you know, I'm fortunate to have a job. I'm fortunate to have a home. I'm fortunate to, you know, if I'm hungry, I can just go and swipe my card and get food. You know, I don't have to worry about where the next meal is, or, you know, like sometimes we get stressed out about, oh, we got to pay this or pay that, but like, imagine not having that stuff to pay. You know, imagine just thinking about like, I didn't have breakfast, I didn't have lunch. Am I gonna find dinner? You know, it's rough. I don't know. I'm feeling thankful right now, but also feeling like, you know, a little sad about it. But anyway, enough of that. We're out of there. We're headed back home. It's a little under 3 hours now to get there, so get there between 3 and 3:30. And tomorrow morning I'll go, and this bus gets delivered around the corner from Foremost, from the office, so I'll deliver that, turn in my paperwork, and we're done. So, you know, overall this week, after fuel, we made about somewhere around $1,700, and we drove somewhere between 800 and 900 miles. So it's not bad. You know, I could have made more, you know, going to Colorado or something like that. But really, I was only on the road 2 days. So Monday, I loaded the bus, which was, you know, 10 miles from my house, 15 minutes, whatever, and then parked it. Tuesday morning, drove to Detroit, unloaded, got the cars, drove back home Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, got up, went and unloaded the cars, picked up 2 more, and was back home by like 11 o'clock, I think. And then Thursday, which is today, I got up early. I think I left the house at 7. And then go to Detroit, drop off the cars, pick up the bus, drive back, home by 3:30. You know, that's almost like a 9 to 5, you know. And then Friday, I'm going to drive the 10-15 minutes into Goshen, drop off the bus, turn in my paperwork, go home, done. So, you know, like if RV transport was slow, or say you're doing the multi-haul and you need to be home a couple days, you know, say you need to be home on Wednesday, or you need to be home Monday and Thursday, or whatever, you know, whatever your circumstances, it doesn't matter where you live. You know, if you have the truck and trailer at home, you could do something like this too. You know, you could book a couple cars to go wherever, you know, do a little circle or a back and forth, you know, what have you, and kind of find something that works just to make a little money to hold you off, you know, like, you know, like I figured once the expenses for the truck was like, you know, the truck payment, insurance, oil change, tires, whatever, is a little under $400 a week. So if you don't do something, you're going to fall behind on that $400 a week. And so then the next week it's $800. The next week it's $1,200. You know, it'd be a little less because you're not wearing out your tires, you're not using oil, but you get the picture. So there's always something you can do. And guys ask me, like, what happens when you get slow? You know, I make it work. Find something to do. You know, or just use the time to hang out at home. You know, if you're prepared for it, you can do it. It doesn't always work. You know, it's not always easy to stay home and, you know, make everything work, but sometimes you gotta do it, I guess. But anyway, we'll wrap this video up. I don't think you guys need to see me unload the bus again, so appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the videos, share them, and see you next week.